Here we go. Thanks for joining today. Hope you all had a great holiday. Let's go for it. Starting off with some dumbbells. So you're going to get into a position where your feet are kind of wide, your hips are close to the edge of the chair. Not quite. And then the weight we're going to bring up from the legs all the way up to the shoulders now. And from right here, we are going to squat or come out of this seated position and get into a squat, stand up. Now from here, we're going to pivot, we're going to turn. So watch my feet. I'm going to turn my toes, both feet turn to one side. I'm going to go to my left. Once I turn to my left, I press with my right. Come down, get your feet to face forward again. I'm going to guide you through it, don't worry. Squat, go down to the chair, stand up, turn and pivot your feet to the right, press up with your left arm, come all the way down, back to center. So we squat, stand up, turn and pivot. Press with the right arm as you turn to the left. Squat, turn and pivot. I pivoted to my right, so I press with my left. And that's how you can remember it, is opposite arm pressing from the pivot. So as you squat and pivot and turn the body to the left, you press with the right. Come back to center. So you're working on a little bit of foot mechanics, a little bit of footwork, and we're working in different planes of motion. All right, so you want to remember to pivot, turn your body, turn your feet, turn the legs. Now you can really get into it and get a little fancy by picking up the back heel as you pivot. So as you turn and pivot, you can pick up the back heel and bend that back knee, press, and then come back down, dropping the heels facing forward again. Squat, turn, you can pivot. Like I said, you can pick up the back heel if you want. You don't have to. But try to figure out a way to turn your body and face to the side and then come back and face forward. Squat, come out of it, turn, pivot, press. Let's do one more on each side. Squat, turn the feet, pivot, press. It's a little challenging. A little balance coming into play. One more time, turn, pivot to the right, press with the left. Easy, come down. Put the weight down, stand behind your chair, and let's do some calf raises. So we're going to give the arms a little bit of a break. Hands just right on the chair, the backrest of your chair, or perhaps a shelf, something tall. And we're just lifting up the heels. As high as you can, lift. Try to feel the weight going inward towards the big toe. So as you lift those heels, shift all your weight inward towards the big toes. Right? So you're trying to prevent your feet from rolling out to the sides. Another way to think about it is to think about the inside part of your ankles staying in an equal distance from each other as you go up and as you go down. So that's another way to think about it, because if your feet roll out to the sides, the ankles also roll out to the sides. So you want to think about keeping the weight inward towards the big toe and lifting the heels up as high as you can. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Grab your dumbbells again. All right. So, I was going to do something. Listen, in fact, put one dumbbell down. Here's what we're going to do. I was going to do 2 arms. I'll show you the variations for both. Here's the beginner. Left leg down, closest to the chair, so that inside leg closest to the chair is down. Outside leg farthest away from the chair is up and bent And then that same side, the right hand is holding onto the weight. So the leg that's farthest away is bent. The arm that's farthest away from the chair is holding onto the weight. Now from here, you're going to do a bicep curl. So this is option number 1. If you can manage, if you need the chair, right? If you really don't need the chair and you want that extra challenge to your balance, you let go of the chair and you grab a dumbbell instead. And only your right arm, only the right arm is moving. Only that outside arm. Okay, so you're holding onto the weight and not the chair. So you're not having that stable surface to help you. It's now relying on your core, your standing leg, and all those muscles in and around the hips, glutes, quads, feet, calves, all of it. They're all working. That standing leg, that entire leg on that left side is working. One more, and now we switch. So we switch weight to the other hands if you're using one hand only and you're holding onto the chair with the other. So just for appearances, I'll guide you through it. Right leg down, right hand holding onto the chair, left leg up, left arm is working, curling. And if this is pretty easy for you and you feel like you need more of a challenge with your balance, let go of the chair. Replace it with one dumbbell, and like I said before, only the left arm, the outside arm, the arm that's farthest away from the chair. Flex your stomach. Pull in that stomach, that holiday tummy, right? It's okay. We'll lose it quick. Maybe not quick, but we'll lose it eventually. Everything's good in moderation. That's why it's a good thing that Thanksgiving and Christmas only comes around once a year. And we're in hibernation mode anyway. It's winter. We're wearing big, baggy clothes. It's okay. We can hide it a little bit better. But next year, which is Friday, New Year's resolution, 5 pounds. One more, and stop. Have a seat. Back to the squats. Okay, set up your feet in front of the chair. Okay, posture's tall. Core's engaged. Bring the weight up. Set up your feet. I'd recommend a pretty wide stance, about the width of your shoulders. Bring the hips, glutes all the way down to the chair. Touch. Turn to the left, pivot, press right. Come all the way back to center, facing forward. Squat, turn and pivot to the right, press with the left. Come down, face center. Adjust your feet. Squat, stand, pivot to the left, press with the right. Back to center. Squat, stand, turn, pivot, press. And you just continue to alternate between the left and right. Make sure you really set up your feet and your legs. Breaking it down into small moves, right? So you set up your feet here. Square up, facing forward. Feel the weight on the heels as you squat, pushing the hips back. Standing up, turning and pivoting to the right as you press with the left. And then back to center. Squat, turn and pivot to the left, press with the right. Squat, get low, turn, pivot to the right, press with the left. Let's do one more time. On each side, turn, pivot to the left, press with the right. Squat, turn, pivot to the right, press with the left. Put the weight down, set up your chair so you can do your calf raises again. And from right there. You're either using your chair or your tall surface. If you don't want to use your hands, that's fine too, but it can become a challenge because your balance will really come into play, which can be a good thing, but also it can take away from your calves getting the work that they need. Because right here, I can really focus and isolate my calves and not worry about my balance, and the tension remains constant on the calf. But if you let go and you start to lose your balance from time to time, or pretty frequently, if you step forward and lose your balance, or perhaps you step to the side and lose your balance, the tension is lost on the calf, on the foot, the ankle. So it's a give and take. So if you notice you're losing your balance a lot, then stay away from it. Use a chair. And if you're able to maintain and come up and down with pretty good balance, then I recommend doing this. So you have options. Play with it, see what works for you. You should really start to feel the back of your lower legs now. Those calves should really be firing up, which is what we want. Let's do 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Grab either one dumbbell or two. We're doing the balancing bicep curl again. So you have options here. What worked well for your body on the last one, right? So that's what you want to remember. That's what you want to get back into. The chair is on my left side, so that means that my right leg is up, right arm is working. And you can grab the chair if you need it, or do not. All right, so if you're not using it, or using the chair, hold on to a dumbbell. And if you really want a challenge, move both arms at the same time. So this is really advanced. This is really going to challenge your balance now, which is fine. Think about your core. Flex the stomach. Have a good posture. Try to keep that foot up in the air. All right, keep that other leg down and working. A little bend in the knee for the standing leg. All right, make sure you load the heels. Let's do 5 more. 4 more. 3, pull in that stomach. 2, and 1. All right, other side. I'm not going to move the chair. I'm just going to stick with it. But now it's my left leg up, left arm working. If you are isolating and doing one arm at a time. If you don't want to hold on to the chair, but you want to hold on to the dumbbell, go for it. And if you're ready for it and you want that extra added challenge, you try both arms at the same time. A little bend in the standing leg, a little bend in the knee. On that standing leg, load the heel. On that down foot, flex that stomach, pull in the tummy. So those biceps are really getting extra work. If you feel like you need a break on the biceps, that's okay, but don't let go of your balance. Keep the balance going. Take a break in the arms if you need to. And then when you feel ready again, start moving the dumbbells. Let's do 3 more. Strong core. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. All right. Don't let go of that weight. Let's keep things going. We're going to work on our back, our posture, and we're going to work on another leg exercise. So, feet are about hip width apart. Okay? 6 to 8 inches apart. Stand as tall as you can. Shoulders up, back, and then let them just sink down. Tighten up the stomach. Bend the knees a little bit. Lift up the toes in your shoes, but keep the feet down, which can be tough, right? You lift the toes, but the foot stays down. Bend forward from the waist, push out your hips, and bring the hands right to your knees. My right hand is right outside my right knee. My left hand is right outside my left knee. I am bending forward from the waist, and I am only bending my knees slightly. So they are slightly unlocked. Push out your tailbone as much as you can and tighten up your stomach. From right here, row. Both hands coming up towards your hips, to your pockets, your hip pockets. Make sure to feel the weight on your heels. Just a little bend in the knees. Force out your tailbone and keep those hands alongside the leg as you travel up and as you go down. All right, so those hands stay close to the thighs, the outside of your thighs. Flex your stomach, tighten up that tummy. Let's do 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Put the weight down. So, I'm going to show you an exercise to do. It's going to work your lateral side. Lateral legs, outside of our legs. Lateral glutes, legs, calves, pretty much our entire lower body. I'm going to demonstrate it with the chair. I'll give you a front view, then I'll give you a side view. So here's what I recommend. Holding on to a chair. Now from here, I'm going to start with my right leg stepping out, but I need to off shift to my left a little. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to work my right leg, but I am over shifted to the left of the chair because I'm going to step wide right. And as I step wide right, I am bending my leg. Right, I bend, I land, and my other leg is completely straight. Then I push off, and I come back. Right, so the reason I overdo it on the left is so that when I step right, the chair is right there. And I can use it if I need it. And push out my hips. And then come off and come back to center. So you can kind of set it up where it's offset to the left, you're offset to the left, step right, grab the chair, push off and come back. Okay, so a little side view, offset to the left, step, bend that leg. Really bend it like a squat, but the other leg is straight. Use the chair for balance, push off and come back. Step right, bend the leg, push off and come back. So that's the challenge. It is a very challenging move. I'm not going to use the chair anymore, but you can. I just want to give you a visual of what it should look like. One leg is straight, one leg is bent. Come back to center. Step right. As you land, you are pushing out your hips, coming back to center. So you really need to think about that squat. Forcing the hips back. You're still kind of doing that movement of sitting in a chair. Pushing your hips out as you land and squat. So it's just one leg doing all that work. Now the other leg, the leg that's straight, you get a good stretch on that other leg. And then you come back in. So that's the challenge. Trying to keep this leg straight as the other leg is stepping out and squatting and lowering down to the floor. So it's a very, very challenging move. Even if the other leg is bent a little, this leg, the left leg is fine. We're still on that right side. I know we're doing a lot of reps, but we're learning. We're learning a new move. Right? So we want to bend, Squat, try to straighten out that other leg, and come back. One more time. Step, squat, keep the other leg straight, and come back. Let's work the other side, the left leg. So to get set up and for visual purposes, you're going to be offset to the right. Step with the left, grab the chair, bend the left leg, straighten out the right leg, come back to center. Step wide, squat, push out your hips, just like as if the chair was behind you. Right? Step wide, grab the chair if you need it, push off and come back. So that's the challenge. Push the hips back. Try to keep that right leg straight as that left leg bends and squats. So you have to control your body. You're telling one side of your body to do one thing, while the other side of the body is doing another thing. And so it's working on coordination, mechanics. It's a good thing. Telling your body to do two different things at the same time. Multiple things, actually, because as soon as you land, you need to think about descending down, bending one leg straight while keeping the other one bent, or bending the other one and keeping the other one straight. Then you also need to balance. Think about your posture, right? We still want to have good posture. Don't let that posture get sloppy, right? Think about your core. Always. Strong, strong stomach. Remember, from a side view, pushing the hips back, right? It should look like I'm squatting with this one leg. Force the hips back. Other leg is straight. Like a kickstand on a bike. It's supportive, but it's also stretching and lengthening. So this move is really great for a lot of different reasons. Flexibility, mobility in the inner hips and thighs. Strength on the outer hips and thighs. Balance. Posture. Let's do 3 more. Almost there. 2 more. Last one coming up. All right. Good job. Let's go back to the dumbbells and the bent over rows. So your posture, really, really tall, right? Engage your core. Shoulders up, back, down, let them sink. Good strong grip in your hands too, right? Squeeze the handle. Work on your grip. Feet are hip width apart. Toes come up. Feel the weight shift onto your heels. A little bend in the knees. Bend forward from the waist and bring those hands to the outside of your knees. Once you reach your knees, you stop and hold. Feel the weight on the heels. Push out your hips. Shoulders up and back. Pull the weight up. And flex your stomach. Protect your lower back as you're rowing. Remember to breathe. Exhale as you pull. Try to maintain your weight on your heels. Try to keep the chest up a little bit, right? You're lifting the chest a little. You should be able to look somewhat forward, right? Straight ahead, just a little. Tight stomach. Let's do 6 more. 6, 5. Bring those hands up to your hip pocket. 4. Strong core. 3, 2, and 1. Come out of it. Put the weight down. those side squats. So it's a very, very big side step. I'm not using the chair just for visual so you can see what my mechanics look like with my legs. You can imagine I'm holding onto a chair in front of me. As I step, I would grab, squat, push off, come back. I'm stepping with my right, by the way. Step right, bend that right leg, keep that left leg straight, push off, come back, and repeat. Bend the leg, push off, come back. If you have trouble going really, really wide, shorten up your stance and don't go down as far. So if you're doing a really short side step, the challenge is trying to keep the knee in alignment with your foot. So you don't want to let that knee go outside the foot. Keep that alignment, the knee and the toes. Okay? So you have to, again, play with your mechanics based on your leg length, based on how far you're stepping. That knee is always tracking over the foot. And the hips go back. Push out your hips. As soon as you land, little side view, it's a squat. Push out the hips, come back. Push out the hips, come back. Let's do two more. Big side step, squat. Remember that other leg is straight. It's like a kickstand. Push out your hips and come back to center. Left leg. We're almost done. Left leg side step, squat, get low, push off, come back. So remember, as soon as you land, force those hips back as you descend down, just as if there was a chair behind you and you're trying to get your glutes to touch the seat of the chair. And that's what you're working on. Remember, play with your mechanics. If you're not taking a very, very big step to the side, you make sure that knee tracks over the shoe. Don't let that knee go wider than your foot or outside the foot. And I'm not going to show you what that looks like because I don't want you to do it. So just make sure that knee stays right over the foot. When you land, push out your hips. One leg is straight, right? The other one is performing a squat. Mind your posture. Mind your core. We are almost there. Flex your stomach. Let's do three more. Side step. 3, 2, last one coming up. And 1. Good job. Nice work. We're not done though. Let's finish with some core. You can put one dumbbell down, have the other dumbbell with you, and let's set up your chair. And you're going to have a seat in your chair. And we're going to work on some abs, some Russian twists. Why they're called Russian, I don't know. But we're twisting through the torso. So you want to think about rotation through your upper body twisting, okay? We're going to start sitting tall as you can sit. Now keep the weight close to your chest. Your legs are extended out in front of you, and you're sitting as tall as you can. Your glutes are kind of close to the edge of your chair, but not quite. Suck in your stomach, and just start turning. Now keep the weight in contact with your upper chest, around the clavicle area, and just hold it in securely against your body, sitting as tall as you can, and just twist. Turning, rotating. Now try to look straight ahead. Try not to turn your head too much. You might get a little dizzy if you do. Now from here, lean back and apply that same technique, keeping the weight close to your chest. Twisting from the waist, turning your shoulders and torso, keeping the heels down, flexing that stomach, tightening up that core, pulling the belly button. Just keep turning, twisting. One side is actually stretching, while the other side is activating and contracting. So your lower back is getting some range of motion and mobility, while your core is working. Don't overextend or over twist. You're doing it within the limits of your lower back, right? And you're using your core to help you. Let's do 10 more. 9, that's 10 on each side, by the way. 8, continue to lean back. 7, if it's tough on your back, or 6, then sit a little taller. 5 more, let's finish strong. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All done. Now we're finished. Good job. Bravo. Great work. Do a little quick stretch. Cross leg. Do the figure 4 really quickly. Maybe 20 seconds on each side. This one's always a good one to do. Loosens up the hips and low back. Get a good stretch. Apply pressure if you can. So we're just doing that figure 4 stretch. You should remember how to do this one. We've done it a lot in our workouts and stretching mobility routines. This is one that you want to do every day if you can on your own. And it's easy. You can do it from a chair. Other side. In fact, I like doing it from a chair because it takes all the pressure off my arms when I'm on my back. So if I try to do the same kind of stretch from the ground, it utilizes more of my upper body. Where here, I'm actually using my body and applying pressure to help with the range of motion, to increase the range of motion on the stretching exercise. So this is actually easier, and I can hold it for a longer period of time without having to stress out my upper arms and letting those get tired before my leg can get the full benefit of the stretch. So just little tricks, little food for thought on that. All right, and let's get our arms. So we'll bend the arm, reach up. So we're going to push from below, and you're trying to get that elbow pointing up towards the ceiling, and if you can, you're pulling from up above and bringing that elbow behind your body or behind your head, and you should feel a big stretch around the back of your upper arm, the shoulder and the armpit area, maybe even a little bit into the rib cage. If this is tough to do, remember you're pushing from below, and you're just trying to get that elbow vertical. And here, we're not only getting it vertical, but we're also bringing it behind the head. So we're really getting a good stretch here. Other side. So remember, bend the other arm. Push from below. Get the elbow pointing straight up. If that's easy, then you pull the elbow behind your head. And you're pulling from up above. And that's it, ladies and gents. We are all done. Good job. Bravo. Great work. Have a wonderful day. We are done.